MaddieS0t0 fed that child to a monster. MaddieS0t0 fed that child to a monster. That has become clear. This video, I'm going to approach this from two different perspectives. One, as a parent. Two, as a prosecutor. Okay? That's what we're going to do here. Approach this from two different perspectives. Parenting and prosecuting. I've done both. Now, I know you've read some of the headlines. You may have read the reports. Let's talk about this as a parent first. I know a lot of you are parents. Some of you are grandparents. There is one paragraph in this case report which clearly demonstrates for you what was going on. A clear path of what is going on. Again, two ways. I mean, as a parent, as a prosecutor. Let's start as a parent, then we'll get to what a prosecutor can do with this information, what a prosecutor should do with this information, and what may very well happen in all of this. I'll start with the paragraph in question. For those of you that have read it already, every time you read it, I think you pick a little something else out of it. The first time you read it, it's just the jaw-dropping shock. So they're getting ready to write the arrest warrant. And the arrest warrant was being written by Detective Moore at 4:45 on the 27th. This detective, this investigator, Morris, contacted MaddieS0t0 in a conference room at the sheriff's office. MaddieS0t0 was asked about Madeline being missing and the dynamics of the household. This is what we've been waiting to find out. Like, what were the dynamics? Because when this story first broke, it was very confusing. It's very clear now. It's maddening, but it's clear. MaddieS0t0 stated her and Stefan have been dating on and off for approximately 7 years. Okay. So the monster's been in her life for 7 years. The monster's been in MaddieS0t0's life for 7 years. On and off. So why was it on and off? What was it about the relationship that made it on and off? And how was Madeline impacted by this? You see, it's one thing to have an on and off relationship with someone. It's another to have an on and off relationship with a man when you have custody of a young daughter or a young son. It's impacted both ways. So why is he in and out of her life? What is it that's going on? I know it's not him working. That I know. Why? Why was this an on again, off again relationship? Did she know? Did she sense? Did Madeline say anything? Why was it that he would be gone and then he would come back? He'd be gone and then he'd come back. And what did that do to Madeline? Having a man like that in and out of her life. It's very confusing. Very confusing for a child. That fact alone, somewhat irresponsible, I would argue. Like if there's a reason for him to not be in your life, that instinct was probably correct. You cut it off. It's done. You can't have him in and out, in and out, in and out. On and off for 7 years. That creates less stability in a home with a young girl who needs a little stability. But my guess is there was something about his character, something about what he did, how he treated her, what he said, that turned it into this on again, off again. And then he would say whatever he needed to say to get on again so he could prey again upon Madeline. Okay. Stefan had moved out of the home in the latter part of 2023, November and December. Okay. So he had moved out. So he was living in the house, then not living in the house, living in the house, not living in the house. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that. All right. If he's in your life, there's a reason he moves in. Okay. But then there's a reason for him to be gone. And then he comes back. And then he's gone. And then he comes back. What is that? What is that? You don't do that. If you're single, you do it. You're single, but you have a child that you need to take care of. A child that needs some stability in her very challenging life. You just don't do that. Okay. So November, December 2023, he's out. Jen Soto stated while they were together, they would either, here we go, all sleep in the same bed, or Madeline would sleep with her when Stefan was not there. When asked if it was normal that Stefan and Madeline to sleep together without her being there, and she said, yes. Can you believe that? Again, we're still in the parenting mode right now. I'll put on my prosecutor's hat in a second. Why? Someone who's in and out of your life, you're putting your daughter in bed with him alone? What? What? How is that even possible? How is that even a choice? How is that even like a possibility in all of this? That the arrangement was, well, if we're all here, then we all sleep together. But if I'm not here, then they sleep together with mom's blessings on a guy that she wasn't even sure if she wanted to be with. What is that thought process as a parent? Where did that come from? And do you think maybe, since she does have a father out of state, right, married to someone else, but if she had maybe that's a conversation you have with the girl's father. Hey, I was thinking, I have this on again, off again boyfriend who sleeps over. And I think, you think it's okay if I let Jen sleep with him? Like if he knew within 5 minutes it would be over. She fed him. She fed her to him. Here, have her. This makes no sense. And I don't want to hear from Jen Soto that it's tough being a single mother by yourself. I don't want to hear that. She has sister, mother in town, right? Like they're in town. They were at the birthday party. So they're there. Now I'm reading some of these comments and someone saying that they may have known about this. I mean, if they knew, what kind of family is this? I can't imagine anyone would think this would be all right. In any world. Like, that's, I mean, you've got help if you need it. Sure, grandma would step in there. Or Madeline's aunt. This is beyond. I mean, we thought there was a level of being oblivious. This is different than being oblivious as a parent. This is different than turning the other cheek. This is insanity. Absolutely. A man, and and I'm not saying it would be okay, but like your relationship with this man wasn't even healthy. You're throwing your daughter in bed with him? She did. It wasn't even that she did more than allow it. Like she encouraged it. She's encouraging this. This is worse than I think. I thought it was going to be she was just oblivious to it. Like she didn't know this was happening. Sometimes I was at work and he'd be watching her and, I didn't know. Again, I'm going to look at this two ways. Right now, I'm looking at this as a parent. Then I'm going to put on my prosecutor's hat. Maybe I'll literally put a hat on so you know the difference. What on earth? What on earth is going on tonight? Michelle Andrews is getting sick. I think we're all going to be sick soon. So, like I was saying last time I spoke about this case, I was going to say we're going to be learning more because the discovery was exchanged and it's going to be public. There are things that are redacted here, names, but it's easy to figure out whose name they're talking about. Excuse me while I drink so much water, but I was had a very active day outdoors today. Baseball game. Let me get back to it. Now it gets worse. Okay, it gets worse. So if Jen isn't home, because we know that she works some weird hours, right? I guess. they would, Stefan and Madeline would be in bed together. Jen Soto stated if she needed a good night's sleep due to her anxiety, she would ask them to sleep in a different bedroom. Now she's home while it's happening. And she's telling, hey, why don't you two go get a room? This is sick. This is what parent? This is not a parent anymore. This is not parenting. What is this? How does that thought come to your mind? Oh, I'm feeling a little anxiety tonight. Why don't you two go get it? Go in the other bedroom. What? Did she tell people this? Is it possible that she was telling anyone else in the world? Because if she told anyone else in the world, what would they say? Like anyone else. Like her doctor, like, oh yeah, Madeline has trouble sleeping, so I let my boyfriend sleep with her. Then all of a sudden the doctor would probably ask Madeline some questions. Did she tell anybody? Like, where? Like, I know you don't have to get a license to be a parent, but this is common sense. Little Irish girl tonight. Where is she? Why is she still free? You got to wait for me to put on my prosecutor's hat for that. I'll put on my prosecutor's hat in just a little bit. I'm just going through straight up parenting 101. Like you would in 2024, we have to tell moms, hey, if your boyfriend comes over, the three of you shouldn't sleep together. But if you do have to sleep together, maybe your boyfriend sleeps in another room and you two sleep by yourselves, not the other way around. I am having a hard time understanding this, where this is coming from. Like, how is that an option? How does that become an option? And you wonder why. Actually, we don't wonder why. We know why. She said, when I'm 13, I'm going to go live in the woods. Because if you live in the woods, you don't have to sleep with mom's boyfriend. I'm not, this does not compute. It doesn't compute on any level of common sense parenting. Alexandra W. Serious conversation. Doesn't Jen Soto seem like low IQ in her interviews? Did she know any better? She seemed uneducated and not all there. Not defending her, just saying, no, that's true. That's true. I agree with you. She didn't seem bright. But she's bright enough to have a job, okay? And it's not, and she's not doing some job that doesn't, it requires you to like speak with people. It was like travel related for Disney. So you had to, I don't think the IQ was so low. Maybe the self-esteem was so low, but I don't think the IQ was so low that you wouldn't understand this. I mean, you know where the baby came from when you had her, I think. But I think it's an important question. State of mind, level of mind, Low IQ versus low self-esteem. But I mean, your IQ, how high would your IQ have to be? Like, I think it's the self-esteem being easily manipulated by Stearns. Like there's a reason he's with Jen Soto, right? And it's Madeline, but it's a combination of Madeline and Jen's personality, Jen's level of being with it, if you know what I mean. And I think that's what Alexandra is talking about here, right? So like, that's why she's being preyed upon, Jen Soto. But it's not so low that she's not working. And if it was that low, why wouldn't she be living with her mom or her sister? Why wouldn't they be there to help raise a child here? This isn't a little, a pet. This is a child. Like, to raise a child, it takes something. A lot of decisions you have to make, choices you have to make. So is this about IQ or self-esteem, or maybe a combination of the two? Great point, Alexandra. Thank you. Raja River. Raja River. Maybe that's it. This is beyond so disgusting. She handed her daughter to him. I'm Appel. Appel. Appalled? Or is that your name? Appel. Thank you. Silver platter, like on a silver platter. This is awful. Now, you want me to get to the really, so all right. So at first we're learning about the dynamics of the household. The second part of this interview, again, looking at this as a parent, not a prosecutor yet. I'm going to put on the prosecutor hat. Got a hat right over there. I'll go grab it. But as a parent, your reaction to learning some more of the information here, your reaction in the interview, again, is something we need to talk about. Katie Company. I wouldn't even let my husband, now of 16 years, meet my then 3-year-old for the first 13 months that we dated. Jen makes me sick. Katie gets it. Katie gets it. And she found a keeper, which is good. You found a keeper. Yeah. Jen's going to make everyone sick. Now, as bad as this is, what I'm troubled by as well is the reaction. Do I have more water in here too? I need a lot of water. Now, I may have to say some things without saying them. So you got to, like, I'm redacting my own language here, so be ready. Okay. Orange County detectives had previously shown Jen Soto photographs of Stefan's for identification purposes. Okay. Apparently, his has some unique markings, which I'm not going to get into. But there are some unique markings. Like the movie Porky's. Jen Soto did not want to believe that Madeline and Stefan were engaged in sexual, and now it says sexual activity. I need to correct that. A child with an adult does not engage in sexual activity. A child with an adult is sexually abused, period. Okay? But here they're talking about, instead of saying SA, meaning activity, it's abuse. Jen asked to see the image of Stefan and Madeline. All right, so she's not believing it. No way. So she's bright enough to know what they're talking about here. So the IQ is not so low. What do you mean? No, she knew what they were saying here. So the investigator pulls out a printed picture from Stefan's Google Drive that showed Madeline with Stefan's in Madeline's. At that point, Jen says she didn't recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial. So the reaction to like investigators saying, listen, we found all this stuff. No, I don't believe you. Show me a picture. And then they show her a picture. I don't recognize any of that. That's your reaction? That's your reaction? At the moment, remember, at this moment, all this is taking place. Her daughter's missing. Her daughter's missing. Like, explain that to me. Explain that to me. How your reaction isn't anger, disgust. It's denial. Now they say, however, she became visibly upset. I asked some additional questions unrelated to this particular case. I excused myself and told her I was going to speak with Stefan. The reaction is horrific as well. You've just found out that your on again, off again boyfriend in 7 years has been engaging in this conduct with your daughter. And they showed you the photo. So it's not like I don't believe you. I don't want to believe what's in the photo. It's right there. The evidence is there. They're not lying to her. We found out in these papers there's 1,700 files. 1,700 going back to age 8 on video. Oh, I don't recognize anything. I wonder if she said anything else after that. So I'm not seeing it in the reports that have been made public yet. Now remember, it appears this is the discovery for case number 1. This does not appear to be the discovery for case number 2. Now, what we've received, what's been released is, a few pages. There were 1,000 pages that were given over in discovery, so there's a lot more information. But is there? I mean, this tells me a lot about the dynamics and her reaction when they show incontrovertible evidence. PJ, how is this lady free? Gotta wait till I put on my prosecutor's hat. But a great question, PJ. Oh, I see Duty Ron is here tonight. Make sure you're watching Duty Ron too, folks. Let's see. Wow. There are a lot of comments. They're flying by very quickly. Was mom also essaying Madeline? All three sleeping in the same bed. Why feel anxious? Because you're on again, off again boyfriend and you are essaying your daughter. I mean, is it beyond the realm to wonder? It does make you wonder. Now, she volunteered all that information. So does that get back to what Alexandra said about the low IQ, like thinking there's nothing wrong with that? I go, oh yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just telling you the way we do this and the dynamics in this house. I guess she thought it wasn't a problem. How is that? How is that not a problem? How is that possible? I don't understand how it's even possible that this is going on. And he's not sneaking it. He's not sneaking it. It's like in plain sight, in plain view. It's almost like she, as a mother, is more like Ghislaine Maxwell. It's like Mother Ghislaine. That's what she's acting like. And this statement was from Nicole LeBlanc. LeBlanc. Thank you, Nicole LeBlanc. Green eggs and ham. This just continues to get worse. I know they did an interview with the father, but I feel like she had no one. Did they recover everything he tried to throw away on surveillance? Great coverage, Vinny. Justice for Madeline. I mean, they have 1,700 files from his phone, from his Google Drive. 1,700 files that he saved, that he was saving. Why would you save this stuff? I think we know why. Was he sharing this stuff? So here's I think this is, I see part of a conversation. I think Freddie Mars might be happening. Was she acting surprised or acting like, no, this isn't happening because she knew that Stefan had deleted all the images? My guess is she must have known. Like where is she on the IQ and esteem spectrum? Would tell me a lot more. Man, I'm drinking a lot of water tonight. I may have to run upstairs and get more. This is bad, folks. This is really bad. Like as a parent, like everything changes in your life when you become a parent, right? Every decision you make, every choice you make, you need to run through your parent filter. I mean, that's what I did. Every choice and decision I made about my career, about where to live, what sort of house to buy, what jobs to take, what jobs not to take, what hours to work, what not hours to work, is all run through the parenting filter. Run this through the parent filter. Put daughter in bed with on again, off again boyfriend. Huh? It doesn't make it through the filter. It gets filtered out. Thank you, Green Eggs and Ham. Duty Ron. Hey, Vinny, as you know, they need to have enough evidence for probable cause to effect a lawful arrest that a crime was committed by Jen Soto, and I don't think they have it yet. Thank you, Duty Ron. almost time for me to grab the prosecutor's hat. Almost time. Not quite there yet. I'm still struggling with the parenting aspect of this. You know, the role of a parent it's the most important job that you have. And if you are a parent and it's not the most important thing going on in your life, then you shouldn't have become a parent. And if you're together with the child's other parent, then together it becomes like you go out to dinner, you get a night off, right? What do? You talk about the kids, because that's what parents do. That's what you do. If you don't want to do that, don't have children. If you don't want them to be your number one priority, don't have children. And it's fine. You don't have to have children. But if you do, you made the choice. You brought the child into the world. It's your responsibility. And it doesn't end when they hit 18. It's forever. Thank you, Duty Ron. Make sure, folks, you probably are already. He's got so many subscribers, but make sure you subscribe to Duty Ron. The creative Lotus Lab. Could Jennifer Soto be offered a plea deal in exchange for her testimony, which is why she hasn't been charged yet? Justice for Maddie. Okay. It looks like we've reached the point. I gotta go put on my prosecutor's hat. We've got a parenting one here from Edie Diane Henry. Basically, she cared for him more than Maddie. It's that simple. Yeah. Well, she prioritized herself when she had a little bit of anxiety, right? And yeah, you could be suffering from anxiety, but like the cure for the anxiety was to send your daughter into a bedroom alone with your boyfriend. No. Thank you, Edie. Mindy, Vinny gets it. Smart man. Thank you, Mindy. We should keep that comment up for a while. No, I only do that. All right. Hi, Vinny. We'll be going through the documents tonight. Well, I made it through what I thought was this first paragraph referencing the mother. And that's where I'm starting tonight. Thank you, Annabella Roma. Annabella Roma. Grazie. Beautiful Maddie. That says it all, Melly. All right, folks, here we go. Got my prosecutor hat. Got my prosecutor hat on right now. Actually, it looks more like an old-time press hat. So there's actually a squad in Atlanta, the homicide squad. I forgot what their nickname was. But when you solved your first homicide, you would get one of these from the other detectives. Pretty cool. All right, so I've got my prosecutor hat on now. I would like to wear this to court sometime. That would be funny. Sandra Cruz. Jen should get a part in a movie. She's a great actress, acting as if she did not know anything. Mothers like her should go to beep. Yeah, she's losing credibility as a parent. So let's look at this from a prosecutorial perspective. Let's start with the case involving the photos. Okay. So what did she do? Did she take the photos? I don't know. She didn't take the photos. I think they were selfies. Now, if there's any evidence that looks like a third person is taking the photos, and these are pictures we won't see, some of them are described here. I can read those descriptions for you. Well, I can't read the whole description for you, but I can give you the idea of what it is. Like video file depicting a prepubescent female resembling Maddie, who would have been 8 years and 4 months old. Maddie is laying next to Stefan in the bed watching cartoons on the television. Stefan is asking Maddie to put his there in Maddie for 3 seconds as he counts. Stefan states Maddie would not be able to play with a phone unless she did it. Now we see how these people operate. Like it's on video. It's on video. And he kept them. What did he do with them? Is he selling them on one of these creepy platforms where you can't track people down? Potentially. So, okay. I don't think there's going to be evidence that she's taking the photos. So now you have to get into the mindset. Is she telling him to do it? Is she allowing him to do it? Is she turning a blind eye? Is she negligently allowing her daughter to sleep with her boyfriend? Does she? I think you start getting into potential charges related to the images on his phone if she knew it was happening and allowed it to continue. But you would have to prove and have some evidence that she knew. So without evidence that she knew this was going on, how are you going to prove? How are you going to prove her role in this? Because if you attempted to charge her, but you didn't have evidence that she actually knew, and you just said circumstantially, well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's obvious that she knew. It's obvious that if she slept in a bed with her boyfriend, what would happen? Is it beyond a reasonable doubt? That's not beyond a reason. I don't even think you might not even get the indictment. You probably wouldn't get the indictment. You need a smoking gun of either a text message, some digital message on her phone, something she says in an interview, or you ready for it? Something Stefan says. Think about this for a second. I host a show. It was on tonight at 8:00. One of the reasons we're going on late, called Accomplice to Murder. You've got the main actor here. But are you going to cut a deal with the main actor to go after an accomplice because of her relationship to the victim? Would you do that? I mean, usually it's the other way around, right? You cut the deal with the accomplice to get the main actor. Like I don't see a scenario where she's the main actor. I think worst case scenario for her is she knows this is going on. No, the worst case scenario is she's participating in this. And we're talking about the stuff related to the images on the phone right now. We haven't gotten into the big charge. right? So you can't argue to a jury or get an indictment just saying, "Well, it's obvious, ladies and gentlemen." Well, it's you need the evidence and you need the proof. At trial, you need the proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Like if you just go in there and say, "Well, it's obvious she knew or should have known or should have known." Is that the theory? I'm trying to figure out what the charge would be for someone that should have known. Under it could be under like it wouldn't be a co-conspirator. Like that's the real question here, right? Is she participating in these images by either knowingly allowing it or actually participating in it? Now, the participation, you would think they went through all these images and they didn't see her. Or any of the image of the type where it looks like someone is holding it. If it's a still photo, that would be difficult to prove because you have tripods. You can lean a phone. You can put a timer on it. The only way I think that you could prove someone else is holding the phone for the images is if it's a video and the phone itself, the camera, is moving. Then you've got a third person involved. Cake tonight, or Cakey. Love your prosecutor hat. Thank you. I put on the prosecutor's hat. Okay. So I think Lundy is with us. Just tuned in. Love your work, Vinny. Thank you, Lundy. Tiffany. W, hating he was sending the pics to mom. Thank you, Tiffany. I think in order to get her for the images, you're not going to cut a deal with Stearns. He gets no deal. He's not getting a deal. He's not getting any deal. It's an open shut case on him. The only way it would have to be in the images. It would have to be in some communication between the two, or a statement that's made. But Stearns isn't even. He's not going to admit to it. He lawyered up. I think when it comes to the disappearance, you might have a better chance of tying in the mother. Kimberly tonight. Kimberly Clays. Thank you, Kimberly. Thanks for watching. Thank you for supporting. Some big support tonight from Catherine Joy. Thank you, Catherine. So I at this point, I don't see anything here that is going to connect her to the charges for what was found on Stefan's phone. Now, all right. Let's see. Okay. Here's another image depicting Madeline, approximately 11 years, 5 months old. Stefan putting his into a private area of Madeline's. And apparently the identity, his face is not in these photos, but there's a unique mark on his and they said there's hundreds of other images. Hundreds of other images. In another report, they said there were 1,700. Oh, here's more images. Okay. A lot of this when she's 11 years, 5 months old. And it appears while Maddie is sleeping. Sleeping. So I guess everyone's question is going to be, okay, well, he's sleeping with her because mom said to go sleep with her. That doesn't get you all the way there. It doesn't, unless she knows that he has done this before. If she knows that he has done this, if they can prove that she knew, she had prior knowledge and then said, go in the other room, then you've got something. But I don't see that yet. And it may never have happened. Yeah, they describe a handful of these. And she's sleeping, and I'm not going to, I've tried to be as gentle as possible in describing this stuff. Okay. So I want to address something here from Carly Holland, registered nurse. By the way, I'm type 1 diabetic. Blood sugar's good, folks. It's steady. I had a little bit of extra juice just before the show, just to make sure I don't crash on you. Make this guy the first one to get the DP for these crimes against children. Florida's going to have a problem with that, Carly. Supreme Court's not going to allow it. It's not going to allow it. They're not going to allow it for anything other than the second set of charges. The first set of charges for the images on the phone will not result in the ultimate punishment. They may have the trial go that way. That may be the sentence, but that sentence will be overturned on appeal. The Supreme Court has spoken on that. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. But don't forget about the second set of charges, which the papers I have in front of me right now do not relate to the second set of charges. They relate to the first set of charges, which is just the phone stuff, the first case. So there's going to be two trials. There's going to be two trials. We know that. And I don't think it's going to happen quickly either. That's my prosecutor hat analysis. That it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while because the defense knows they have no defense, so they're in no rush. They know he's not getting out on bond, so they're in no rush. So the longer they wait, the more they hope that something develops. The only negotiating tool they would have would be implicating her. But why on earth, I wouldn't, as a prosecutor, I wouldn't give a deal to the main actor to get the accomplice if she's involved. And would I even trust would I trust anything that comes out of his mouth? I would need more. I would need more evidence. I would need some digital evidence. I would need something else. Because I'm not indicting mom based upon what he says. He's backed into a corner. He's going away. He's never getting out. And by the way, just so you know, a bunch of the images that were handed over, He doesn't get to see them. The defense can come to the prosecutor's office to inspect the evidence. But they're not going to make copies and give it to the defense so they can share them with the defendant. That's not happening. That is not happening. Nicole LeBlanc is back. She said she took Maddie to school. She lied. Right. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Let me see. So that's where you start to see some potential criminal conduct. Let's go to this. Okay. Blank completed a sworn written statement to the Orange County deputies to the following. Blank stated on 2/26/24 at approximately 0800 hours, she saw Maddie getting ready for school at 0800 hours. Is that a lie? Is that a lie? Right? You cannot lie to investigators. You can't. That's what they was the only thing they got Casey Anthony on, right? That and the forged check. But some of that it was problematic on appeal too. Okay. She saw her at 0800 getting ready for school. Blank stated Stephen Stearns took her to school and dropped her off close to school. That statement, she could say, well, that's what he told me. Right? That's based upon what he told her. So that I don't think is because that's what he's telling everybody. So that I don't know if that is a misleading police, unless there's evidence that she knew she wouldn't be able to go to school because she knew that she wasn't able to anymore. Let's keep digging. She's saying at 0800 hours. Stated Stephen took her to school, dropped her close to the school. Said Stephen dropped her off on Town Boulevard between Town Center Boulevard and Hunters Park Lane. Jen Soto stated that Stephen dropped her between 8:30 and 8:45. Jen stated, blank stated, never made it to school. Blank went to blank around 1600 hours to pick up. Okay, so she stated that Maddie never made it to school. Around 4:00, she went to go pick her up. She never came out of the school. And Jen stated she searched around the area and then went to her mother's office but could not locate her. Okay, is that consciousness of guilt? Is that consciousness of innocence? Is that like part of the play acting? Like Stephen, like physically driving back and forth to the school that morning? Is she like going through the motion? All right, I'll pretend to pick her up. And then I'll go there and she's not there. And I'll go, oh my goodness, where could she be? And then I'll look around for her and I'll go see my mom. Okay, Detective Tagler with OCSO, Orange County Sheriff's Office, interviewed Stephen during the case. He'd become the lead investigator for the Sheriff's Office. Okay. Stephen provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated he accidentally performed a factory reset on the phone. And he agreed and provided his passcode. So he provides his passcode. Okay. Now, As far as the specific timeline, we had some times initially in all of this, like when the bag was dumped at the back gate in the dumpster with the laptop around 7:35. But this report, not as specific with the times, which is interesting. The supplemental report. But here's what they say. Upon reviewing the security video, Detective Tagler observed Stefan's vehicle exiting the complex with a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat. The female was slumped over to her left, which is an abnormal way for a person to be seated in a vehicle. At that point, Detective Tagler decided to secure the residence for a search warrant. So on the way out, now I wish we had the time on that, because Jen is saying that she saw her getting ready at 8:00. Like, saw her at 8:00, right? That it's very clear. At 8:00, she saw her getting ready for school. Tiffany Krebs, mom admitted she knew he slept in bed with Madeline. That's a smoking gun. It is, but it isn't. Then you'd have to presume that what took place in the photographs was going to happen. Like, you'd have to know that was going to happen. You'd have to believe that was going to happen. Right? There's a level of negligence to it, but to what level? Like, is there's no presumption that someone is a pedo. You know what I mean? There's no presumption like that. You'd have to prove it in court. You'd have to have some level of knowledge. Now, the admission is huge, but you're missing that one other piece that you need. You need that other piece to be a true accomplice to that conduct. But it's close and it's compelling. And you know what? Like, you have to make your case legally, but if you just took these facts and put them in front of a jury, they would convict her, right? They absolutely would, because they have common sense. 2 + 2 = 4. Plus, once you showed them the picture, it'd be game over. But I don't think the judge would allow you to get there. Videos and photos are timestamped. Couldn't they find out where her phone was at those times? Yes, they could. I don't know if some of them might be too old. But how precise could they be? It's not a mansion, right? We're not talking, I mean, they don't live in this huge home. It's like 2,200 square feet, and it's like 3 levels up and down. So wherever you are, you're basically next to each other, even if you're in a different room. Wicked Main, I believe Jen hasn't been charged yet because they're hoping something comes out in Stefan's trial. Yes and no. Now, the thing that we also don't know is, like, after she was shown that pictures, did she cooperate anymore? Did she continue the conversations? Did she get a lawyer? Did she just zip it up? What did she do after she was confronted with the actual photograph of this conduct? Did she not provide? I mean, that's the moment, right? That's the moment where, me as a prosecutor, that's the key moment. How do you react to that? Do you now come to me and say, what can I do? How can I help you get the man that did this to my daughter? Whether it's you in person or your lawyer, what can I do? What information do you need? Was she 1,000% cooperative from that point forward? Because if she's not, she flunks the parent test and the red flag goes up under the prosecution test. if her reaction at that moment is not, here I am, let me help you. I can give you days. I can give you times. I can give you whatever you need. I can tell you everything I know. Or do you just zip it up and say nothing while they're still looking for your daughter? Because remember, at this point, she's still missing. The point of these interviews, she's still missing. She's not found till that Friday. Here's Rashida Thomas, owner of Rashida's Healing Hands. Hey, Vinny. Good evening. Love the hat. This is the prosecutor's hat. I had to put it on so you can tell when I'm speaking as a prosecutor versus as a parent. Do you think it's possible to invite Madeline's mother on closing arguments? Love to hear what she's got to say. We've been reaching out. We've been asking. Trust me, we're asking everyone. I think everyone's a little right now. There's like two different points of all this. When you have a missing child, generally people speak. Then when the child's found, depending upon all the circumstances, people clam up a little bit. And then there becomes the shock of the reality. And then as time passes on, then maybe they will want to speak. But we'll see where the legal case leads to. And Lundy with the rim shot. He didn't have a tripod. Couple inches at best. Ba-doom bam. Good one, Lundy. This is from Ellen. Hat reminds me of Bing Crosby. There we go. Thank you. But there was a squad, and I think they still do it. When you get your first homicide arrest or conviction, you get a hat. Starlar Daniels, wouldn't mom's admission be probable cause? Not enough. Not enough just putting her in that position. Right now, she said as a general matter, was she questioned about all these specific dates? Is she even home on these dates? We don't know. The dates on the phone. I don't think you can do it. It's not enough. It's not enough. Like it'd be enough to put this evidence in front of a jury. I'm sure they would convict her. But legally, it wouldn't withstand the scrutiny either of the grand jury or of a probable cause hearing with the judge. So, oh, wow. Sandra Cruz tonight probably sat in the corner waiting to clean her up. See, if you had some evidence of that, then obviously, but where's that evidence going to come from? And I'm sure they are looking at this because as outraged as you are, so are these investigators. And trust me, they want to arrest and charge anyone and everyone who they can prove is in some manner responsible. Now, that's why I have the two hats. Or I don't like my head hair there. Oh, we keep the hat on the rest of the show. But before I had the prosecutor's hat on, as a parent, yeah. But as a prosecutor, different analysis. Because we got to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. What about the timestamps of the pictures? I mean, they've laid out some of the dates and times here. Let's see. They don't give the dates and times here, but you're going to get that from the metadata. I would think you'd be able to timestamp when all these pictures were taken because they have it. They have like the ages and everything else. So if they have the ages and you've got the times, what else do you need? You need evidence that she's knowingly, like crimes are committed based upon a mental state connected to your conduct. The conduct we have, right? Which is sending them off together, allowing your boyfriend access to your underage daughter. You've made that decision for your daughter. That is your conduct. But what is your mental state? Is your state of mind like, oh, Maddie likes that, Maddie needs that, it's good for her? He would never do that. He's a good man. Like if you're wrong about who your boyfriend is, it's like criminal conduct. The bar is higher. The bar is higher. Like if you looked at this from a civil context, like if Madeline was going to sue her own mother for her conduct, you probably have a case. Criminal's about liberty. So everything, the burden of proof, everything else is much higher. But trust me, one thing that the head DA said, well, he's a state attorney. That's what they call him in Florida. What can we get her on? Like, did she break any laws here? Talk to me, people. Talk to me. Research it. Tell me. I think what I'll do tomorrow night, to get even more insight on this from a local perspective, I think I'm going to try to get Judge Belvin Perry on my show tomorrow night. Because not only is he a judge, he's a former prosecutor. Nobody knows how the criminal system works down there in Central Florida better than he does. So I'm going to see if I can get him on my show tomorrow night on Court TV to talk about mom specifically. Like the case against him, for the images, it's open shut. And it's a solid case as well for the other charges. Because they've got videos, they're tracking his car, they're tracking his phone. They have the evidence. Oh, Mindy has given us a information regarding his pink birthmark on his anywho. So many comments. After Dark Records. Peace, my friend. Thank you, After Dark. CBC, mom was on psych meds and will be her defense. Yeah. That'll be her defense if she gets charged with something. Again, you have the parenting way of looking at this, and then you have the prosecutorial way of looking at this. And it's two different scales. And thank you, CBC. See, it's not CBC, it's CBC. Mm-hmm. Great conversations taking place. Tons of comments. Hey, folks, make sure you subscribe and join the VP fam. Thank you, Melly, Frankie Figs, and Gen X. Obviously, the Mod Squad, Vinny's Angels, keeping law and order in the chat room. Thank you. Hi, Vinny. Feeling sad for Maddie. Lock up mom. Well, Tanya, that's going to be the drum beat now. Once this information came out, that is now the drum beat. Like, what did she know? When did she know it? What did she know? When did she know it? What did she know? When did she know it? And how can you prove it? How can you prove it? So far when I'm seeing these reports, the part where she's in denial, right? I hate that as a parent. As a prosecutor, it doesn't help me a ton. In terms of proof. The attorney's going to say, of course, she was in shock. She never, ever suspected that this was going on. So being in denial becomes part of her defense. Ladies and well, I got to take off my prosecutor's. I'll put on my defense attorney hat as the defense attorney. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, once she was shown that photo, you heard the detective. She was visibly upset, so much so that he stopped asking her questions. Ladies and gentlemen, and she was in denial. Of course she was in denial. She never suspected, not for 1 minute, not for one moment, that any of this was happening. Ladies and gentlemen, and the defense gets to do all of that without her even taking the stand. And that's why right now you don't have the case. Trust me, I want to see the case here because as a parent, I think this was outrageous conduct and behavior because our children trust us to always act in our best interest and to do and to take care of them before anything and everything else. And that's what they deserve because we made the decision, the choice to bring them into this world. That was our choice, not theirs. Pretzel crisps and dip. This has to be extremely difficult to discuss, Vinny. It's difficult to listen to. However, hearing the charges is important nonetheless. Hashtag justice. Yeah, this is my approach. And people ask this question all the time, especially when I meet them in person. You know, how difficult is this to do? How difficult is this to talk about day in and day out? These things happen, whether I talk about them or don't. These cases actually happen. These investigations happen. These trials happen. But with me talking, number one, I try to analyze and explain everything that's going on so our system makes some sense to you, even when it doesn't make sense to me. What is happening? I try to explain. I try to analyze. I try to figure out what's going on. Try to answer questions on why this happened and why that didn't happen, much like what I'm doing tonight. The other thing I like to do is continue to muscle spasm. I told you it was a very active day. Oh, wow, I need pickle juice. Oh, my hammy just tightened up. Oh, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that hurts. Oh. I played baseball today, and I'm sitting in this chair, and I guess in a way I shouldn't be sitting in. I'm going to keep my hamstrings stretched like this. I need pickle juice. I need pickle juice. Would you mind if I went upstairs and got some pickle juice? Oh, wow. Oh, no, I can't bend it. I cannot bend. I don't even think I'll be able to walk out of here. All right, the show must go on. Sorry. The pain is real. The pain is real. All right. Wow. Just waiting for it to pass. Do we have any nurses? I know we have a bunch of nurses here. Michelina Kimmel. I had a teacher named Kimmel in New Jersey. Her bio dad has got to be absolutely devastated. Why didn't the ex-roommates say anything? Jen Soto can't hide forever. Yeah. How does this even happen? How does this even happen? Okay. Let's not go after each other, folks. Let's be nice. Let's be nice. Jono. I think there's two sides to every story. Two sides. Just don't make it personal. You can have your debates. All right. Thank you, Michelina. All right. I am so afraid to bend my leg right now. It's crazy. After Dark Records, what about the reference to a gun in the docs just released? Yeah. Yeah. We talked about that. I need a little more information. All right. This is an interesting issue being brought up by Eladia Lopez. Stop, Vinny. She had married him and he was the stepdad. Then would it have been better? Or if he was her bio dad? Jen saw him as a father to Maddie, had been there for 7 years. Was he there for 7 years? Was he there? But so these points that a lady is making are valid points that you would hear from the defense. This is the defense hat, right? Yeah, those are the arguments you would hear. What's the difference in her mind? Like in her interviews, she referred to him as a stepdad. The only difference was she herself described it as off again, on again. So if she's describing the relationship as off again, on again, why was it off and why was it on? Why was it off? Why was it on? Oh, and by the way, it's not good for stepdad or bio dad to go snuggle in the other room. That's not good either. That's not good either. But you know there was something else going on here. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on again, off again for 7 years. Off again, on again does not make him stepdad. I would like to dive a little deeper into the backstory of the off again, on again. Angel, Stefan came back to MaddieS0t0. Mom broke up with him and he used Maddie's birthday to get back in to see Maddie. Well, that's what the whole relationship was about, right? For him, that's all it was. For him, it was a means to an end. Oh, Diamond Ring Girl on the interview at 4231. I'm not going to play the interview tonight. I know a lot of people have played it already, gone through it, and that's awesome. A lot of YouTubers have done it. Gray Hughes, I think, went through it. So you can check them out. I'll probably go through it sometime this week. Go through it in a little more detail. We did a little bit on the TV show. We're going to do some more on Monday. But Diamond Ring Girl, when they ask what time did he factory reset, he says he looked at her and said, "What did I just do?" So Jen knew he reset the phone, which is why maybe she knew what was on the phone, which is why she was in denial, because she didn't think there were any more photos that existed. Again, we have to look at, every way that one side interprets the evidence, the other side, of course, will interpret it in a completely different way. And you as a prosecutor need to determine, is your interpretation correct? Number one, ethically, is it correct? And number two, is it something that you think you can convince a jury beyond a reasonable doubt is the correct interpretation? That's part of the challenge of being a prosecutor. Pretty Little Poison. It sounded like Jen was saying what she was told by SS, but I still think she is guilty one way or the other, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's what I've been saying, right? If you put these facts as we know it, which are not all the facts, but the facts that we know, and you put them in front of a jury, and you put those photos in front of the jury, do you think they're going to say not guilty? Of course not. Of course not. But it's getting it to the jury. That is the challenge. You've got to get it to the jury. And even if you get an indictment and then you put in your case, a judge can dismiss your case after you put in all the evidence, judgment of acquittal. And then you're cooked. You are cooked. Because now jeopardy has attached and you cannot try that person for that crime again, which is why you get all the evidence you need to prove it. The investigation is continuing. CBC, total loser, no job, plays with toys, lives, lives with parents, does drugs, filthy personal care, black soulless eyes. What did Jen see? Only she can answer that question. We can surmise someone that was paying attention to her, someone that told her what she wanted to hear. Told her what she wanted to hear. And her attorney, if you put her on trial, will say she was a victim of him as well. Every criminal defendant always points the finger at something else or someone else. And here it would be obvious. Pointed at SS, pointed at him. Averini Card Designs. AV Renee Card Designs. AV Renee Card Designs. She allowed her daughter to snuggle with a grown man. Unacceptable, in my opinion. Yeah, especially if he's off again, on again. Snuggle. No, you don't snuggle. You hug. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Now the adults will be going to the adult room. Oh, you want to sleep with mom? Okay, go with mom. You're scared tonight? Go sleep with mom. I'll go sleep in the other room. Or I'll sleep on the floor. Or maybe I'll go to my own house. Oh, that's right. I don't have one. And Gen X, please censor your spicy words or YouTube AI filter will eat them. Be careful. Thank you. We got Gen X, we got Frankie Figs, and we got Melly. The Mod Squad. Okay, this is the question from Lana. Great question. Vinny, can't Jen be charged with neglect of a child and child endangerment? Maybe. What's the danger? We know what the danger is right now. We know. Did she know what the danger was? You'd have to know. Like if he had a prior conviction for this, easy. Yeah, you prove it at that point. But he had no convictions. Did she have knowledge? That's it, and it comes back to the same thing. Did she have some level of knowledge to know? Or would a reasonable person know that this guy was who he was? They don't reveal themselves. They keep that stuff hidden. They don't go around bragging about it. And that's the challenge of the prosecutor. The defense will say, ladies and gentlemen, she's a victim too. She didn't know. He's a predator. He said and did everything he needed to say so he could manipulate her. She didn't know. She's a victim of his manipulation. She's a victim of his lies. If she had any idea, she never would have let that man, that monster, in her life. She loved her daughter. She loved her more than anything. That's what the defense would say. And it'd be a little more difficult to prove the case. But I'm telling you right now the challenge is not convincing a jury. This is like the Oxford case, the Oxford parents, right? That case is going to be challenged on legal grounds at an appellate courts. But no jury was sending those parents home saying what you did was okay. And that's the situation we have right now with this without more evidence. Yes, if a jury heard this, of course, they would get in the room and say, oh, that mom is horrible, guilty. That's what a jury would do. But you got to get in front of the jury first. Yeah. All right. I'm just getting to the comments now from when I had my hamstring on me. Vinegar. Here it goes. I'm going to put this up just because it's funny. I listen to Vinny and he always believes the defendant's guilty and everyone is conspiring. Is that the simplest answer? Is usually the correct answer. Her simple answer is mom was fooled. Yeah. That's what she's going to say. That's what she's going to say. All right. Melly was worried about me. I'm okay. But no, he tightened up big time. I mean, big time. I'm still drinking the water. I need salt. I need water. I have pickle juice. I have pickleball juice. Pickle juice after pickleball. Call it a night. Oh. Yeah, I'm just getting all of those. This is a great one. Hello, fish. Hello, life alert. Eat some olives. Warm up before playing. I warmed up before and after, and I took an Epsom salt bath. Too much information, I know, but I've done everything right. Yeah, pickle juice is the best. Potassium, magnesium. We are now. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words. Feeling my pain. So get the juice. Get the juice. Pickle juice. All right. I'm working through it. I have my legs completely straight now underneath. So I should have brought the... we're still good. All right. Get more water. I've got water. I got water here. Should I go get more water? All right. Calcium supplements. Tonic water. Stand up and stretch. Yeah, it really tightened up. And it was definitely the bent leg. That happened to me once before. I don't know if it was my hamstring or if it was my quad last time. But it's when you bend the legs. You got to keep them stretched out. And we have pickle juice when I go upstairs. All right. Pretzel, Christmas disc. Can someone bring you a shot of pickle juice? Well, that's going to be the new thing. If I do these on Sunday nights, electrolytes. I drank a whole thing with electrolytes. I drank this whole thing, a big one. I drank this before the show. Electrolytes, potassium. Like, I do everything right. Still not enough. Starlo, I think mom was in the chat, Vinny. What? Mom was in the chat? You mean Jen or Jen's mom? Interesting. Very interesting. If anyone comes across those comments, let me know. But love to hear from everyone. I mean, on my show on Court TV, we invite everyone on. Sometimes it's hard to get through to people, especially if they don't have. We don't know who the lawyer is publicly. If they have a lawyer, usually we call the lawyer out of respect. We're not legally obligated to call a lawyer, but that's how we usually contact people involved in cases if they have one. Otherwise, we go direct. But I invite everyone on to tell their stories, and I never tell people what to say, what not to say on my show. And we want to get all sides. Always. Always. Thank you, Starlar. Sandra Cruz, Vinny, stretch your leg and point your toes upward. Okay. Toes are upward. Got it. Thank you, Sandra. Yeah, it's a good thing we have a lot of crime sleuth, and Vinny needs a flask. We usually have. Oh, here we go. Niece, no, the Gen S in chat is not Jen Soto. Thank you, Niece. We usually, and Gen X is confirming that. Usually we have some nurses in here that help me. All right. Nikki Johnson. EBD was late on Friday, so I watched KR on LNC. Okay. It was like driving on ice with bald tires. Chat was absolutely brutal to anyone and everyone. Okay. EBD. EBD was late on Friday. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that is. So I watched KR on LNC. KR. I don't know what that is either. LNC, is that other network? Dan Abrams' old network that he sold for a lot of money. All right. Chat was brutal. All right. Well, I hope our chat's not brutal, Nikki. Thank you so much. KR. Is that Rusan? Oh, by the way, I put it here in the scroll here. See you at CrimeCon in Nashville. Make sure you show up. Hopefully, no muscle spasms. Oh, that would be funny, right? All right. Betty's second box of wine, Irish. The defense hat. Whoa, the defense hat. Go get some pickle juice. I should get the pickle juice. CBC. AMZ Doctor's Best. Special magnesium works better than pickle juice. Pinch under your nose during a cramp. Under my nose, like that. Special magnesium. All right. Let me write that down. I always learn something on this when I do this. I got to write this down. Doctor's Best Special Magnesium. And I'll just keep that because you know what happened today? We were playing. It was nice out there. It got very hot. It was a long game, 3 hours. We lost 10-9. All right. Doctor's Best Special Magnesium. All right. Thank you, CBC. I appreciate it. Da, 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 da. Rowena Reigns, arrest her ASAP. Well, they will, but ASAP, it has to be possible. So you need PC ASAP, probable cause, in the form of evidence about her knowledge. Now, if they can prove that she's outright lying to investigators when Maddie's missing, then you have some charges there. But we don't know what happened, right? Was there any follow-up? Because the way I'm reading this is like, okay, they showed her the picture, she gets upset, they stop asking questions, and they go talk to him. Then what? Then what happened next? What happened next? So this is interesting. This is interesting. Oh, here we go. Mary, Bonnie. You know, a lot of times when people write my name online in text messages, I don't think it shows up Bonnie. So Mary met Vinny. No disrespect, but are you high? You don't act like this on court. No, I'm not high. Anyone that knows me knows me. So if you know me, if you know, you know. I'm not high because I don't do drugs and I don't drink. So it's never been a part of my life. Ever. Ask any of my friends that I grew up with. They'll tell you. You can ask Joey, or Joe, or who are my other friends? Ronnie. Ask any of them. This is your designated driver every time you go out. But thank you, Mary. No disrespect. And I'm not like this on Court TV, but if you ever listen to Court TV radio, which I did for several years on Sirius XM, oh, you would hear that. Gun massagers. I have the gun massager upstairs. So after the show, stop in the kitchen, get some pickle juice, hit the gun massager. Thank you. USA Kiwi 1986. See, but I knew, Mary, I knew it was Vinny, not Bonnie. I knew, because it's not the first time that's happened. Sometimes it's an autocorrect. Italianos. All right. Wow, there's so many great comments tonight. Salty Bird. I'm craving pickle juice. Yummy. Yeah, and some salt. And Melly, yes, we want more Vinny on Sunday nights. I'd like to do as much as I can on Sunday nights. Once in a while I travel. Once in a while I'm exhausted. But yeah, Sunday nights are good. But they have to be 9:00 or later, because 8:00 on Sundays, my show Accomplice to Murder is on Court TV every Sunday night. We're in the middle of season 2. Here she is, Rhino Girl. Cannot even begin to imagine the fear and suffering Maddie went through all these years. In my humble opinion, I believe there were other victims too. Love from Dubai. Dubai. They need to have CrimeCon in Dubai. Although you probably couldn't do it there. Thank you, Rhino Girl. Amazing. Nice picture. Are you on a rhino? I can't tell. It's too small. And we've got Professor Vanna. I adore you. And here, ever you need a psychologist take. All right, Professor. Thank you. Send a DM on probably Facebook's the best place. No, Facebook, the DMs are like crazy now. Thousands. Because every time I do a show, I think it sends a bunch of DMs and then I can't find any of my messages. It's impossible for me to. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Facebook. Mary Baracco, I tried it and it definitely helps. Thank you, Mary. And Mary's watching on the Facebook tonight. All right. We got a couple more comments about the hat. Yeah, this is my prosecutor's hat because I was speaking as a parent first. Starlar, why did she leave? When asked, was she mom? I don't know if and it's strange, right? They confront her with the pictures to verify it. She gets upset, and then they go on to interview Stefan. So we'll see. We'll see. But tonight, I really wanted to. Oh, here we go. Beautiful messy ball. EDB is Emily D. Baker. And KR is Karen Reed. I am going to need to give you a crash course at CrimeCon, Discord, YouTubers, social, etc. LOL, still, Garden State Parkway, 102, down the shore. Excellent. Okay, KR is Karen Reed. Yes. I think they're off on Monday, so they come back on Tuesday in that case. And Emily D. Baker, how awesome is she? Yeah, she's been on my show. EDB's been on my show. Rowena Rains, she gifted that precious girl to him just to keep him around. It's very possible. It's very possible. Now we've got to prove it. We've got to know that she knew. She knew. Read those text messages, all those communications, every email, every message left on voicemail, all of it. You got to go through all of it to see if you can prove that. That's what they need. All right. Wow. I wonder if these hamstrings are going to do it again tonight while I'm sleeping. And Betty, second box of wine. Vinny is not high. I'm an expert. Thank you. Betty's second box of wine. And we've got the Green Wool Witch. Love you, Vinny. See you at CrimeCon. Should I bring the prosecutor's hat to CrimeCon? Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I will. I've got to, right? I'm bringing this to CrimeCon. Thank you, Green Wool Witch. We'll see you there. I'll be at CrimeCon. I'm doing the show live, 7 o'clock local Nashville time from 7 to 9. So please stop by, say hi. We can wave during commercials. And I'll be there. I'll be hanging out Friday. Then I will meet and greet, I think, is 11 o'clock on Saturday, the official meet and greet. So that'll be fun. I don't know if I'm going to do anything else. Maybe I'll do a one-man show, impromptu. All right. Oh, Nicole has, thank you, Green Wool Witch. Nicole LeBlanc, do TV interviews hold no weight in court? Oh, well, they're not sworn statements, so there's no crime to lie. You lie to me on TV, it's not a crime. However, if you say something to me that is inconsistent with what you say in court on the witness stand, they can use it perhaps to attempt to impeach you. But didn't you say on television that blah, 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 blah? So that's possible. If you say something against your interest, right, a statement against your interest, right, because it's basically hearsay, it's an out of court statement. But if a defendant says something that incriminates themselves on TV, it can be used against them because it's a statement against interest. Meaning, let me explain a little bit about hearsay to you. Hearsay is an out of court statement brought in court to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Right? So if someone says something out of court, like the bottle is blue, and then you try to bring in, like I say the bottle is blue out of court, and someone says, well, he said that the bottle is blue. Well, no, it's hearsay. Right? And he said that out of court, so you can't bring that statement in. You could put him on the stand and ask him what color was the bottle. Right? But if you say out of court, a defendant that I committed the offense, like a confession on TV, that's a statement against interest that can be used against you. And the reason they allow statements like that is our courts have come to the conclusion that you wouldn't say that unless it was true. Why would you lie about that? Like if you admit something, it has more veracity to it rather than a self-serving statement. Like if you say out of court, I did not commit that crime. Well, if you want to say I didn't commit the crime, you need to get on the witness stand to say it. Your attorney can't come in and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a recording of him saying he did not do this right here on this tape. We're going to play it for you. Objection, hearsay, out of court statement being introduced to prove the matter, the veracity of the matter being asserted. But if it goes against his interest, it's allowed because the courts have concluded that, well, the other one was a self-serving statement that he made, to make himself look good. If you say something that makes you look bad, why would you lie about that? Why would you make yourself look bad on purpose? Therefore, it's more trustworthy testimony. And that concludes this episode of Law School. All right, Rhino Girl. Guys, can you imagine what Vinny is like when he gets man flu? What is man flu? I don't even know what man flu is. What is that? Someone's going to have to explain that to me. Just like you're going to have to explain some of that social media to me at CrimeCon. All right. Aaron Wilcuts, body language experts, one of my favorite guests on video. Oh, yeah. Now, the people we have on are human behavior experts. Some of them, we have this one guest we bring in a lot just to listen to a voice. He runs it through. He has like a special machine that is able to analyze it. So we may do that on Monday as well. Get ready. Maureen, Vinny, why are you up so late? Well, I had big news to get to. I was playing baseball late today. Then I had to watch my show, Accomplice to Murder. And then it was like 9:00 and I was like, oh, we got all these documents in. Everybody's been talking about it. I did it on the TV show on Friday, but I want to really talk about Mom tonight. So that's what I did. So the update, Bubsy, to you, is there any new updates on Jen? Well, the update is what's in these reports. And what she is saying is that, like, she was telling Stefan to go with Maddie and go in the other room. And you guys go to bed over there. I've got anxiety here. I'm just going to stay by myself. And she said that was kind of a normal occurrence in describing the family dynamics. All right. Abby Lyons. Vinny, will you be back in Boston? I didn't get a chance to meet you. It depends. It depends. Our plans are to be there, but there's a lot of things that have to be put in place to make sure that I can get up there to do the show. But I would say right now there's about a 75% chance that we go back up for towards the end of the case. Do TV interviews hold no weight? I sent on X a link to interview where JS says she brought Maddie to school. Right. Yeah, we talked a lot about that when that happened. So I think I answered the question about the TV interviews and how they can be used if you say something against interest or something, some sort of an admission, or something that's inconsistent, right? Like, but you said this over here and you're saying this over here. Like, when are we supposed to believe you? But she would have to take the stand for any of that to necessarily come in unless you believe it's against her interests. But it's not a sworn statement. So there's a big difference between lying to me on TV and lying to law enforcement when they interview you in a case involving your child who's missing. Thank you, Nicole. Oh, the Papa Smurf, the OG. When is Crime Con? I'd like to see you, my friend. Crime Con is right at the end of May. I think it's May 31st, June 1st. I think it's Friday, May 31st. If whatever that Friday is, I think it's the 31st of May, and then the 1st of June is the Friday and Saturday. And then if you go, there's also stuff on Sunday. And I think there might be some stuff Thursday night, like a welcoming thing. I won't be there till Friday. But thank you, Papa Smurf OG. Make sure you come by, say hi. Sandra, mom is a type 2 diabetic. How's your sugar level? My sugar level has been good tonight. The sugar level doesn't really impact. My sugar is perfect. Look. You see it? Can we see it? 129. Boom. Which is great. Which is great for right now. Because I don't want to be low. I had a little bit of, see, I keep a little mango juice with me just in case I get low. I also have this glucose, fast acting glucose. I've got been drinking a lot of water tonight. And I can't even show you what's in the garbage. I had my electrolytes. I mean, it's one of those nights. Oh, we're at 2 hours? Oh, okay. We're getting close to the end. Professor Vanna, it's just my name at Google email. Jamie Vanna. All right. Thank you, Jamie Vanna. All right. Okay. After Dark. Congrats on the show, Accomplished the Murder. Thank you, After Dark. Yes, season 2. And we're still filming episodes. So that's part of what I have to do. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go 2 hours exactly, which means we have like a minute and a half left. So let me hit you with all the stuff. Please subscribe. Smash the like button over and over and over again. Hit that notification bell too, right? So you know when I'm going live. Because I don't even know when I'm going live. I can't give you a schedule because I don't know. That's what I like about this. Like my show on Court TV, I know when it's going to be on every night. 8 o'clock Eastern till 10 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. 2 hours, unscripted true crime every single night. So I know that. I don't know when I'm going to be on here. When news breaks, when I have a minute, like during the week, every day is hectic, but it seems generally during the week, I get on here, I don't know, sometimes in the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock hour, and then I got to leave by like 5:45 on most nights. But we had over 3,000 tonight. Like I think we're up to like 3,500 at some point. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Smash the like button. If you're on Facebook, share it on your page. If you're on Twitch, please spread the word on Twitch. We get between 1 and 5 viewers every time on Twitch. We want to get those numbers up. You got 1 million gamers on Twitch. I don't know if they're into true crime over there. And then if you're watching us on X, make sure you re-X us, retweet us, re-X us, whatever they call it these days. But there we go. Big thanks to the moderators. Let's give them a hand, folks. Let's give them a hand. Melly, Frankie Figs, Gen X, getting it done. Like, they don't even know when I'm going on, but they're always here. Amazing. And I really appreciate it. And by the way, we're making the drive to, we're going to try to hit by the end of the summer, our goal. It's a very aggressive goal, by the way. I may have to pull out a few tricks. Try to get to 100,000 subscribers. So Court TV has a YouTube page too, and they have over 1 million. So maybe I'll do some joint stuff with them to try to get the numbers up. And Toro, Vinny, thank you for the comedy. You're welcome, Toro. Look at MaddieS0t0 NowShould. Seems your YouTube matters more. So what is the point for any other platform? Does my YouTube matter more? No. I click on all the people. I read all the people. I stream for all the people. It's just I get them all the platforms all come to me in one feed. And if you look at it, like the YouTube is red, it's a sea of red of people making comments. There's a sprinkling of blues, but thank you, MaddieS0t0 NowShould. We appreciate. You see, we got Deborah on Facebook saying good night. All right. Time to wrap up, Vinny. Yes, it is wrap up. It's late. I'm going to sleep. Everyone, thank you so much. 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll be talking more about this. And in the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.